Hello everyone, this is a tutorial for Macrorify. I will show you how to use the app news interface called Abstract Mode. When you first created your macro, select Abstract to get started. This is the main menu where you spend most of your time in. The purple block is an action. You can add an action by clicking the plus icon and choose the action from the pop-up menu. The green block is a condition. You can add a condition by clicking on an action or another condition and select Add Condition. The small green block is a condition group used to combine conditions. You can add a condition group the same way as a normal condition, but select Add Condition New Group instead. This is the current job. Jobs is a way to split macro into smaller parts that are easier to manage. Job will be covered more later on. You can add some basic variable like number, string, boolean from here. There's only one thing you need to understand, and you can make most of the macros with it. That is, action runs when condition is true. Let's add a click image action. The action is click on an image when that image appears at the capture location. Let's test it. The image is here, so the condition is true and the click happens. If the image is not visible anymore, the condition is now false and the click stops. Now the condition is true again and the click stops. Action with no condition is considered as always true. For example, a single click with no condition will always click because its condition is always true. Let's do an example macro. As with tradition, we will use another Eden. It's been a long time since I played this game, and I don't know this is still the best way to find for experience. Basically, you repeat this one stage over and over again to wrap up a lot of experience, and that is pretty much our macro in a nutshell. Here's how it looks like. Without wasting any more time, I'm gonna add our first click. The image can be further adjusted by using the Edit Image command. You can test quickly by using the Test Action command. Conditions can also be tested separately. I'm gonna add the rest of the click. This part will be fast forward since it's the same thing. After you've done editing, go back and save. Then start play mode. Run the macro. Now just sit back and enjoy the results. The attack button appears multiple times in a row, but that will not pose any problem. The macro will click on it as soon as the image of the attack button appears. Next, I want to introduce a very important feature. Suppose you want to do multiple actions in a row once a condition is true. Say select skills before clicking the attack button. It's not needed in this macro, but let's use that as an example. You can create a custom action for that. A custom action is just multiple actions put together to create a new action. Exactly what we need. To create a custom action, click the plus icon and select custom action. Enter the action name and save. You will be greeted with a familiar menu. Now just add action to it normally. I will add 3 normal clicks as an example. Go back and you will see your custom action has been added. Not only that, if you click the plus icon again, your custom action is also available in this menu and you can reuse it anywhere. Now I just have to remove the old attack button click and add the condition to the custom action. Every time the attack button appears, it will use our custom action instead. Let's try it. By this point, you should know how to make a simple repeat macro with some custom actions. Abstract mode is designed to be simple, thus it cannot do many complex tasks compared to detail mode, but you can totally do it to a certain extent if you wish. In this section, things will get a bit more complex, so get ready. To give the viewer a bit of context about what we're gonna do if you're not familiar with the game, take a look at the number on the right side. That's called lighter point. The higher your point, the better the reward you get for certain dungeon. To increase this point, you normally would need a dupe of that character or use a very limited item. So this point is actually very hard to come by, but the game does offer an easy way to get this point for one single character, and it's this straw boy you see here. By leveling the straw boy to max level, which is 80, you can do a reincarnation. He loses all of his level, but his point increased by 1. That means you can farm the state to bring his level to max, reincarnate, and repeat that process 200 times to have max life point. We're gonna implement that reincarnated bug. First, let's detect when our boy reach level 80. I'm gonna use this screen since the level number is clearly visible. A single image detect should do it. Once that is detected, you need to click back instead of fight and close this menu. There are 2 clicks, so a simple custom action should be enough. But I'm not gonna do that since I want to introduce another feature. We do not use custom action, so after detect level 80, we will just rest back and come to this screen. Now we just need to press the close button on top. But here's the problem. On this screen, we also have a condition for the stay for button, which means we need to differentiate between the two. We click stay for when we do not detect the level 80. We click close instead of stay for when level 80 is detected. The detection happens in the previous screen. So how do we remember the detection result across various parts of the macro? Well, you should guess it at this point. We need a variable to remember things. In this case, we just need a simple Boolean variable to remember that level 80 has been detected or not. To add a variable, click the X icon over here, click plus, select Boolean, and enter the variable name. Then say the variable default value should be false. We're gonna set it to true whenever 80 is detected. Click plus, add set variable action, select the variable, and choose true. The condition should be image appear. Now add the click for the back button. The back button should only be clicked when our variable is true. So let's add an additional condition to our click. The fight button should only be clicked when the level 80 is not detected. So it also needs an extra condition. One important thing is that you must put the level 80 detection above the fight button detection so it gets prioritized. Otherwise, the fight button will get clicked first before our variable flip. Select our detection, cut, then paste above. Now we just do the same for the close button. I fast forward this part. The macro should now close instead of fight. Let's try it. We need to go to Xami next. This part is completely separate from the battle. Let's introduce the most important feature of all, job. Let's add a new job. Click here to enter job menu, add, name, and save. Let's go back to the main job and add a run job action. Select our new job. The condition will be image appear, and we will reuse this exclamation mark. Make sure to add our variable condition as well. The same for other exclamation detection. Now we switch to our dummy job. Everything in this new job is completely separate, and you don't need to worry about anything else. That makes things way easier. And looking at an empty job like this put your mind at ease. Let's continue. I quickly show you how go to Dummy look like. Just a bunch of clicks. Should be easy. I start adding all the clicks. This will also be fast forward. We have all the clicks. Let's give it a go and see if there any problem. You might think, wow, it works. Let's continue then. But there's actually a lot of trap in this. The only reason it works because there's enough click delay for the action to work step by step. For example, the map button click is delayed for 1 second, and that's enough time for the expand button to detect next. If somehow there's lag and everything out of order, the action might be triggered in unexpected place due to their condition. For example, this expand button actually appears in two screens. The condition is true for the two screens, but we only want it to click the screen on the right, meaning a single image appear condition is not enough to differentiate between the two. In this case, we should add more conditions to an action to enforce when an action should happen. So let's re-examine every action. First, the map icon. It appears in two places, at the start and at the end. Let's add a condition to make it only clicks on the first screen. I'm gonna reuse the exclamation button. Next, the expand button. You can use any spot that is different between the two screens. I just pick a random unit spot on the map. This screen is unique, so it's good. Again, I've used a random spot on the map. This spot is a bit special. If the bottom Zami clicks has a small delay, then it might get into a self loop where Zami on the right can appear because you spam the bottom Zami. A nice delay here should be enough. Yes button should be good. The other images are grayed out, so if you're paranoid, you can increase the similarity score for the detection. Alright, let's move on. The next step is to go to the house in the north. Let's create a job for that. That job should be run into Zami. For the condition, you can use any image on the last screen. To get to the house, we need a series of swipes. That's the job for custom action. Let's add one. I add the first Y. The rest will be fast forward. Make sure to edit the swipe style and set it to move joystick. Hold should be around 2000. Let's test this. For the condition, we just need to run this while once. So there's actually a condition for that. Make sure to change the scope to job so it's once every job starts, not once in the whole macro. Next is the click for entering the house. The position of the icon will vary depending on the swipe. So we should set a custom region for the detection. The next job is reincarnation. Let's add that. The condition can be anything as usual. Before continue, I want to talk about the last important things, and that is error recovery. This job has a very long swipe sequence, and that's easy for it to break in the middle. Once it breaks, the whole job will stop. It's a good idea to handle that scenario. So how do we know that the swipe breaks in the middle? That's easy. We'll use the last screen as the condition. If the last screen does not appear, then we can safely assume that something is wrong along the way. Let's create a job for recovery. Let's run the job. For the condition, we use this action count. Select action number 3. Set it to false. This means our recovery job will run when the last screen fails to appear 10 times in a row. What's left is to implement this recovery job. All you need to do is re-enter that to reset the position and run the tools house job again from the start. The steps should be the same as before, so fast forward, here we go. Make sure the map click has the condition that the marker does not appear. Otherwise, the run job and map will have duplicate condition. The job should be set to restart. This is important to restart the once condition. Let's try this out. I will break it on purpose. Now just wait for the recovery job. There we go. The rest of the macro is actually the same things, so I let you guys implement it. After the reincarnation job, we should go back to the future and complete the loop. It's the same map navigation as dummy. I will just show you the last part. Here we just need to run the main job again to complete the loop. The condition should be seeing the exclamation icon again. Make sure to set the job to restart to reset the level 80 variable. Congrats, you have reached the end of the tutorial. In this video, I'll show you how to make a simple repeat macro, use KoK-CODE use symbol variable, use job to split big macro, and handle error recovery. Obviously, that's not everything, but should be enough to get you started. Make sure to comment, like the video, check the document to learn more, join the Discord if you need help, and I see you guys in the next video.